Frederick II of Hohenstaufen, famously called Stupor Mundi, or the astonishment of the world, stands as one of history's most captivating and enigmatic rulers. His life was an intricate tapestry of ambition, relentless conflict, and an insatiable hunger for knowledge, one that mesmerized some and deeply unsettled others. As the Holy Roman Emperor and King of Sicily, he was a man who defied conventions, clashed with the papacy, and carved his own path through history, ensuring that his reign would be remembered as anything but ordinary. Born into a tumultuous era, he was excommunicated twice, reflecting his contentious relationship with the Church. But beyond the political strife, Frederick's academic pursuits were equally striking. He was a man driven by a relentless curiosity, particularly in the realm of science. However, this curiosity gave rise to gruesome tales that have persisted through history, painting him in a chilling light. One of the most notorious sources of these accounts comes from Salim ben di Adam, a contemporary monk. His works, especially the 12 Calamities of Emperor Frederick II, describe Frederick's alleged experiments that ventured into the macabre. Salim ben aimed to depict Frederick as morally corrupt, often detailing horrifying tales reminiscent of a horror story. Among these tales was Frederick's purported habit of using prisoners for cruel experiments, such as encasing a captive in a barrel, observing him until death to witness the moment the human soul supposedly departs. In another unsettling experiment, two men were fed the same meal, only to face grim fates. One was sent to hunt, while the other was ordered to sleep. Both were executed, their stomachs dissected to compare the effects of exercise versus rest on digestion. This brutal curiosity raises serious ethical questions about Frederick's methods. Perhaps the most disturbing of Salim Bey's claims involves Frederick's experiments on infants. Fascinated by the origins of language, he allegedly instructed nurses to raise babies without any interaction, hoping to discover humanity's primordial tongue. Tragically, these infants perished, deprived of affection and care, but never revealing the answers Frederick sought. The number of these experiments remains unknown, but the ethical implications are staggering. However, it's crucial to question the veracity of Salim Bey's assertions. Despite Frederick's clear interest in biological sciences and his documented experiments with animals, the reliability of the monk's narrative is compromised by his personal bias against the emperor. Salim Bey was a devout man, promoting Christian ideals in stark contrast to Frederick's more skeptical views and open contempt for religious hierarchies. This dissonance could have colored his portrayal of the emperor, leading to exaggerated or fabricated tales. Frederick also demonstrated a genuine interest in natural history. He established reserves for animals and famously traveled with a menagerie of exotic creatures like panthers and elephants. These endeavors, albeit less horrifying than the tales of human experiments, illustrate his passionate curiosity about the world. Additionally, Frederick's legitimate scientific pursuits included experiments that were less morally questionable, such as studying fish longevity. A notable legend involves a fish he tagged with a copper ring, which was supposedly found centuries later, affirming his long-lasting curiosity. His relationship with falconry further underscores his inquisitive nature. Frederick authored a book on the subject, offering insights into the study of these birds. These pursuits contrast sharply with the dark narratives attributed to him by Salim Bey, leaving us wrestling with a complex image of a man who straddled the line between genius and madness. Despite being a ward of the Pope in his youth, Frederick's disdain for religious orthodoxy led to numerous accusations of heresy. He famously challenged the foundational beliefs of multiple faiths, a stance that shocked his contemporaries. Through all his life's pursuits, biological, political, or philosophical, Frederick II remains a figure of intense fascination and horror, embodying the duality of human exploration, the quest for knowledge that at times leads us down a dark and troubling path. Salim Bey, a monk and fervent supporter of the papacy, viewed Emperor Frederick II as a dangerous man. Despite the scientific reputation of his order, Salim Bey dismissed Frederick's innovative ideas as mere superstition. His disdain was partially due to Frederick's shadowy persona. While he could be charming, Frederick often showed a lecherous cunning and temperamental demeanor. One chilling anecdote shared by Salim Bey recounts how Frederick had a notary punished by severing his thumb for not inscribing his name correctly. This illustrates Frederick's volatile nature and his disturbing penchant for cruelty, a man who could inflict harm merely to settle a personal whim. This negative perception wasn't unique to Salimbene. Pope Gregory IX labeled Frederick as a precursor to the Antichrist, and Dante condemned him as a heretic. What might seem like tolerance today, such as Frederick's cosmopolitan court, was interpreted by many as evidence of his demonic essence. His willingness to experiment and seek empirical knowledge stood at odds with the views of his contemporaries, sparking suspicion instead of admiration. However, the reliability of Salimbene's account comes into question. His limited contact with Frederick raises the possibility that he was merely echoing gossip rather than providing first-hand information. Though Salimbene aimed to depict Frederick as an embodiment of evil, he seemed to rely on unsubstantiated rumors to bolster his claims. Despite Salimbene's bias, proponents of Frederick argue that the bizarre nature of his experiments lends them credibility. At the heart of this story is the infamous language experiment, reminiscent of those conducted in antiquity. Histories share tales of rulers like Psamtik I, who sought to uncover the origins of language through the isolation of infants, demonstrating a long-standing curiosity in this area of study. Moving forward in time, the tragic outcomes of Frederick's own experiment reflected notions of deprivation that modern science has now embraced. Studies of children in Romanian orphanages revealed how neglect can lead to severe physical and emotional impairments, indicating Frederick's pursuit of knowledge was ahead of its time. Despite Salimbene's overt criticism, he acknowledged Frederick's positive traits. In 1224, Frederick founded the University of Naples and actively promoted the arts and hygiene practices throughout his empire. Importantly, he demonstrated a rare tolerance for different religions by integrating Muslims and Jews into his forces, contributing to the preservation and translation of ancient texts. At his death, Frederick became a legend, shrouded in mystery. Some even draw parallels between his tale and that of King Arthur. Frederick's legacy, be it as a monstrous tyrant or an enlightened ruler, remains obscure, leaving us to wonder about the real man behind the stories. The truth of Frederick's experiments may linger just out of our grasp, but his narrative continues to captivate the imagination. For more incredible stories of medieval monarchs, don't forget to subscribe to Legends and Legacy, where you can delve deeper into the lives of these fascinating figures.